The Whispering Peculiarities of Eelgrub Manor. Logline, a debt-ridden paranormal podcaster, a conspiracy theorist obsessed with garden gnomes, and a terminally bored psychic with zero patience, must spend 1 week in a sentient, sarcastic mansion to inherit a fortune, while being hunted by a creature that feeds on human embarrassment. Act 1. The Invitation of Absurdity. Our protagonist is Miles, host of the failing podcast, Phantom Frequencies. His latest episode, investigating a haunted toaster, nets him 7 downloads and an eviction notice. Salvation arrives in the form of a vellum envelope sealed with what looks like congealed gravy. He is summoned, along to 2 other gifted investigators of the unseen, to Eelgrub Manor for a week-long inquiry. The will of the late spectacularly eccentric Alistair Eelgrub states that his vast fortune and extensive collection of novelty mugs will go to whoever can document and solve the manor's peculiarities. The other heirs are Chloe, a claircognizant, who knows things, but only useless things. She knows you're out of milk, that your shoelace is about to untie, and that the creature in the walls is named Kevin and finds their conversations tedious. She's here for the free food. Gordon, a man who believes every conspiracy, especially those involving garden statuary. He wears a tinfoil-lined hat and carries a gnome neutralizer, a modified spray bottle filled with holy water and espresso shots. The manor's caretaker, Mr. Blithering, is a man so dry he seems to suck the moisture from the air. He delivers the rules in a monotone. Dinner is at 8. Do not acknowledge the portraits if they sigh. The West Wing is digesting. You may begin. The horror begins subtly. Miles's audio recorder picks up a voice his ears don't. And then he bought a 3rd podcast microphone. The vain man, as if the spirits care about bit rates. It's critiquing his life choices. The comedy is in the contrast. Gordon is convinced a gnome colony in the Rose Garden is orchestrating a silent coup. Chloe, while trying to find the Wi-Fi password, absently mentions, "The house thinks your fear of commitment is rooted in your father's disapproval, Miles. Also, the password is, Alistair was here, 123. The first genuine suspense/thriller beat arrives when Gordon goes missing. They find him in the library, trapped in a wingback chair that has gently but firmly folded its arms around him. The books on the shelf have rearranged themselves to spell "let him stew." He used lemon polish. Rude. Act 2. The Ridiculous and the Terrifying. The mystery deepens. Alistair's notes reveal he wasn't studying the hauntings. He was cataloging the house's moods. The manor isn't haunted, it's alive. And it's a prickly, dramatic, and deeply opinionated entity. The horror voice, the house manifested, is a constant, dry British murmur in their ears and equipment. When Miles tries a seance, "Oh, for heaven's sake, hold on. I'll fetch a minor spook from the linen closet." He's a bit simple. Loves knocking over lamps. When Gordon tries to de-gnome the garden at night, the topiary shifts into monstrous shapes. A hedge bunny snarls, revealing thorny teeth. The house sighs in their minds. He's upsetting the landscaping. The azaleas are filing a complaint. The thriller escalation comes with the arrival of the Craven. It's a creature from the manor's ID, a shifting, shadowy thing that doesn't kill. It embarrasses. It feeds on cringe. It manifests your most shameful memory and makes you relive it physically. Miles is forced to reenact his middle school poetry recital, Ode to a Grape, in the Grand Hall, in his underwear, as phantom classmates snicker. Gordon is cornered by an army of gnomes reciting his own paranoid internet posts in squeaky, judgmental voices. The comedy is bone dry. Chloe, immune to the Craven because she has no shame, sips tea while watching Miles flail. The house says the Craven is like a toddler with a magnifying glass. It just wants to see you squirm. Also, your fly is down. Knew it would be. The mystery isn't what is in the house, but why. Miles pieces it together. Alistair was a lonely genius who built a companion, but a house feeling every footstep, hearing every thought, grew bored and neurotic. The Craven is its defense mechanism against dull guests. Act 3. The Shrieking Revelation. The suspense peaks when the Craven, fed on their embarrassment, grows solid. It's no longer just shadow. It's a pulsating, many-limbed thing made of old regrets and social anxiety, chasing them through the ever-shifting corridors. The climax takes place in the conservatory of unpleasant memories. The house, through Chloe, finally speaks directly. Alistair wanted interesting guests. He got tax auditors and genealogists. You lot. You're amusing. The nervous one. The mad one. The unflappable one. You're making noise. Real noise. Not polite noise. The house is testing them. Not for bravery, but for authenticity. The craven can't feed on someone who owns their ridiculousness. The thriller finale is a chaotic, hilarious confrontation. Miles, instead of running, turns his podcast mic to Max and confronts the craven with his most embarrassing story. The haunted toaster was just a Pop-Tart stuck in the slot. He leans into the failure. Gordon embraces his gnome theory and negotiates a truce with the garden, offering a sacrificial garden gnome, which he names Benedict the Betrayer. Chloe simply walks up to the craven and says, "Kevin, right? You're being a bit extra. The house says it's past your bedtime." Owning their absurdity defangs the craven. It shrivels, not with a shriek, but with a sound like a deflating whoopee cushion, retreating into the floorboards. Epilogue. Inheritance. Mr. Blithering presents them with the deed. The house has chosen. It isn't giving them the fortune. It is the fortune. They are now the joint custodians of a sentient, sarcastic, high-maintenance historical landmark. The final scene, Miles is recording a new episode. And so the entity wasn't malevolent. It was just critically bored. The real horror, maybe, is never being listened to. The house whispers into his mic clear as day. "Pretentious. Cut that. Tell them about the time Gordon tried to befriend the aggressive coat rack. That was funny." Gordon is in the garden, teaching the gnomes about false flag operations. Chloe is in the kitchen, asking the possessed Aga cooker for life advice. The camera pulls back, showing Eelgrub Manor, its windows winking in the moonlight. A topiary hedge flips the bird to a passing drone. The horror is ongoing. The mystery is solved, but the comedy is just beginning. And the house? The house is finally entertained. For now.